Bienvenidas a la cocinerita, or welcome to the Little Chef. If you're wondering, why are we speaking Spanish? Well, that's because today we're making a Mexican-inspired recipe, quesadilla. Quesadilla is a tortilla that has melty gooey cheese inside of it. So if you like melty gooey cheese, then come and join us today because it's gonna be wonderful. Just a side note before we get started, did you decorate your aprons yet? I would love to see what they look like. For this week, I think it'd be great if you came up with a name for your restaurant and a logo. So for your name, you can gather inspiration from either yourself, like call it Emma's Diner, or from maybe where you live. Like you could call your restaurant the Paulette Plate. So what will you name it? And what will your logo look like? Send me your name and send me your logo, and we're gonna use it for a special project in an upcoming class. Okay, back to cooking.
Tool of the week.
This week, our tool of the week is a box grater. We're gonna use the box grater today to shred cheese. You might have one of these at home. It might be a little bit bigger or have more sides to it, but they all have the same purpose, and that is to grate or shred cheese or vegetables. So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how we use it, and then Ella's going to demonstrate. So just remember first and foremost that all of these little grates are like tiny little knives. So we need to be really careful with our fingers around it, and don't use this unless you have an adult with you. So the next thing is making sure that we pick the right side for the project that we're making, or the recipe that we're making. So this is the large grate, and this is going to be for the type of cheese that we're shredding today. It's great for long shreds that you might be melting. Next we have on the side a long and narrow grate, and this is great for big thick cheese slices, which we're not going to use today, so we don't have to worry about that. Then you have the fine shred, which is the same as the biggest one, that one we started with, but it's much smaller hole, so you're going to get a smaller cheese. And this might be good on a salad, but not for what we're doing today. And then on the end, you're going to have, probably on your grater, grates that actually come up out of the box grater. And this is really great for very, very fine cheese, like a Parmigiano Reggiano. But for today's purposes, we're going to use the biggest grate. So if you have a cheese grater, go ahead and get it, and Ella's going to show you how at the cutting board. Okay, the first thing you would want to do when you're using your box grater is you're going to want it on a flat surface that's even. So Eleanor is using the cutting board to make sure that it doesn't move around a lot. You're going to use your non-dominant hand, which is Eleanor's left hand, and you're going to place it on top of the cheese grater. Some cheese graters have a handle to hold on to, or you just put your hand on top of it. That way you hold it steady with that hand while you're cutting with the other hand. So with the other hand, you're going to take your block of cheese and you're going to start at the top of the grate that you need, and working into the grater with pushing it into the grater with a little pressure, you're going to slide your cheese all the way down to the bottom. And you'll start to see that the cheese is getting cut off and going inside of the grater. That means it's working. You can either grate all of the cheese that you need, or you can grate the whole block and save any leftovers for another recipe. Just make sure that when you get close to the end where your fingers are holding on, that you stop. You don't need to grate the whole thing because we want to be really careful. Again, these are very close to a knife, so we want to make sure that we are being very careful of our fingers. So that's it. That is how you use a cheese grater.
Culinary skill of the week.
Eleanor is here to teach us the culinary skill of the week, which is using a stove. So a stove is a device in a kitchen we can think of as a big cooking tool. It usually has two parts. The stove that gets hot on the surface, and we use pans and pots on that. And the oven that's actually a large box that heats up and cooks meals. Today we're just going to be talking about the stove. Stoves can be gas, where you have a live flame under your pan, or electric, where a coil gets hot but there's no fire. They have a couple different parts. The burner that gets hot and where your pan goes, and the temperature knob, where you go to turn your stove on and adjust your heat. Ours is electric, but no matter what you have, the rules are the same. Number 1, make sure that you always have an adult to help you and have permission before using an oven or a stove. Number 2, make sure you are level with the cooking surface. You might need a stool or a chair or a step ladder to give you the right leverage. Number 3, always have your plate and your utensils ready to go. Number 4, place your pan or pot on the burner you need, making sure it's not too small or too big for what you're using. Number 5, turn on your burner to the desired temperature by turning the knob. Remember, it's easier to gradually add more heat, but harder to cool it down. So don't get your pan too hot too fast. Number 6, turn the handle of the pot to the outside. You would never want it in front or behind you because you might tip it over and you don't want to have to reach over a hot pan in order to move it. Number 7, always pay attention to what's happening and never leave it unattended. So you can't go somewhere and then come back. No, you always want to stay with your pan or your pot. Number 8, and the final step, turn your burner off when you're done cooking and let everyone know that the stove is hot.
Stove is hot. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. And it's always a good idea to move your pan off of the hot burner onto a cool burner, so that way whatever is left in your pan doesn't continue to cook or burn. That's it. Now you know how to use the stove in your kitchen.
Tools and ingredients.
For this recipe, we're going to need 1/2 cup to 1 cup of shredded cheese and 1 soft tortilla.
Recipe of the week.
Eleanor is here to show us how to make a quesadilla. So we're going to start by having our pan on the stove. Make sure that your handle is turned outward so that anyone walking by doesn't get caught on it. And we're going to take our corn tortilla and put it onto our pan. And we're going to take 1 to 1.5 cups of cheese, shredded cheese, and sprinkle it on the quesadilla top. Ella is making sure that she gets right to the edge with the cheese and putting it in a nice even layer. She's doing a great job. Once you have your cheese on your tortilla, spread out nice and evenly with a nice layer going all the way to the edge, you're going to turn your stove on. So Ella's going to put it in between low and medium. Some stoves you have to push the knob in before it turns. So you'll see we have it on in between high and low there around medium. And now we're just going to play the waiting game and watch our quesadilla melt. Once you see it start to melt, that's when we'll go to the next step. Okay, it's getting really melty on there. So Ella's gonna use her turner spatula and she's gonna lift up half of her quesadilla and flip it to the other side, being very careful. You can see that the outside is getting nice and toasted brown. Just a few minutes to make the cheese melt into each other so that your quesadilla sticks together. When making a quesadilla, make sure that you get it just right. This is a quesadilla that's a little undercooked. The outside should just be a little bit more crispier. This is a quesadilla that was cooked just right. On the outside, you've got the brown tortilla, and in the inside, you've got the melty, gooey cheese. This quesadilla got left on the stove a little bit too long. It's pretty burnt. Not even a dog would want to eat that.
I don't want to eat that. It's burnt.
And then Eleanor is going to turn the heat of the stove off. And she's going to move her quesadilla to her plate. Now Ella's quesadilla is ready for eating. Before you eat your quesadilla, you might want to cut it into triangles. There's a couple different ways. You could use a knife or a pizza cutter, or sometimes I even use scissors. But I like to go across and then across again and across one more time. This makes your quesadilla ready for dipping into salsa or sour cream, and it's easier to hold and eat that way.
Variations. That was pretty good.
It's delicious. You can't go wrong with melted cheese. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, melted cheese is awesome.
So awesome. We don't have different recipes for variations this week, but we do have some good ideas. So if you want to mix this up a little bit, you can do the same recipe, but add some shredded chicken or some beef to it, or even some cut up steak. And that would be really good. Maybe even add some taco seasoning into it. You could also make it a veggie quesadilla by adding any kind of veggies you want. So some good ideas would be corn, zucchini, black beans, even sweet potato, or some bell pepper, or even spinach would be really good in it. Another variation that's like a quesadilla, but it's a little bit different, is a grilled cheese, right? That's basically the same thing, except instead of a tortilla on the outside, you use bread, but just make sure that you butter it first. And you grill it on the stove the same way that you would a quesadilla. You do need to flip it over though, so you get the other side of your bread toasted and warm. So you could try that at home too. Grilled cheese, quesadilla, pretty similar. So thanks for joining us. We had a great time. I love quesadillas. I hope you love them as much as we do too. Cheers. Adios.
Thanks for joining us. See you next week.